What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with part 2 of my Hakes lot number 239 results. And today we're going to cover the Empire Strikes Back items. We covered some of the Star Wars items and how the prices were kind of all over the map. Some of them came in well above the value codes. Some of them came in below. And it's kind of the same story here. There were some good deals, but the rarity wins as always at Hakes. And there were some very rare Empire Strikes Back items that sold for big money, big surprises, but there were some good deals as well. And I'm going to cover both of those. Tomorrow we will cover the Return of the Jedi, Power of the Force, Tri-Logos, things like that. But today, let's take a look at some of the different mint on card action figures, vehicles, box sets, things like that, that sold. A couple of proof cards. And the first one we're going to take a look at is not an action figure, but I wanted to show it because it's pretty cool. This one is an Empire Strikes Back storyboard. This is the original art from the making of the film that was framed, and it was not graded or anything, and it was not a print. This is an actual storyboard with the actual inks on it. So you can see there, it's got Darth Vader on the Star Destroyer, probably when he was getting ready to talk to the bounty hunters about finding the Millennium Falcon. So it looks pretty cool there. It's got the bridge of the Star Destroyer, Darth Vader, and so these are like original inks. And the value code was $2,000 to $5,000, and the winning bid was $3,776. I mean, to me, you're getting original pencil ink marker art from a storyboard for the making of the film. This is pretty amazing item for $3,700. If you got that kind of money. That's a lot of money, but still, it's pretty incredible to see that. And just an awesome looking piece of art there. Now let's dig into the action figures. First, we got a Kenner Canada 21 back Boba Fett. How rare is that? It was only an AFA 70, but this is the secret Star Wars action figure offer on the multi-language French Canadian card back. So pretty awesome. Unpunched, no price sticker, crystal clear blister, but it did get a 70, 75, 70, 80 were the sub scores on that one, and the value code was $2,000 to $5,000. It sold for $23.38. It does seem like mint on card Boba Fett's for the most part are coming down in price. Just seems like the allure has kind of worn off on some of these mocks for Boba Fett, and the prices have come back down to earth. Here was another Boba Fett AFA 75 31 back A. And this was a clear blister. It did have a price sticker. It was unpunched. And that one sold for $22.69. So again, at the low end of the value code. And that seems to be the running theme even on eBay for mint on card Boba Fett's, is that the prices have really dropped, probably, I would argue, 50 to 60% across the board for various mint on card Boba Fett's. Probably the only exception being the Droids Boba Fett. That continues to command big money. The other big theme from this Hakes auction are the 31 back debut cards for harder to find secondary characters. Commanded big money. I mean, really big money. This one is the harder to find 31 back A IG-88. And it's difficult to track this one down. Usually the 32A is what you see out there for sale for early IG-88 ESB card backs. But this one was the debut card, 31A, AFA 80, and it sold for $12.98. So that came in $300 above the upper end of the value code. And quite honestly, that's probably about right. I mean, we've seen some sell. We saw one sell on eBay that came in for, I think, $900 ungraded. It was not, I don't think it was 80 grade condition though. But this one was a stunner and $1,300. Likewise, here was a 31A Hoth Stormtrooper graded AFA 80. Unpunched, no price sticker. That one also came in above the value code, $13.34 on that one. So it seems like those 31As for the secondary characters debut cards, they're pretty desirable among collectors, at least at Hakes. Some good values for mint on card Princess Leia's. This one was the 21 back Leia, AFA 80. It was punched with a price sticker, so that probably kept the value down. But this is a clear blister, 21 back transition card, and it sold for $722. That's a price I'd pay all day long. I thought that was a steal of a deal. And likewise, here was the 32 back A, AFA 80. This one was unpunched. It did have a price sticker, though. That one sold for $713. So whoever got these two Leias, absolute bargains. I was thinking closer to $1,000 minimum for those two, and those went well below what I considered to be fair market value. Here's a proof card, 31 back B for Princess Leia, AFA 85. And this price was at the opposite end of the spectrum. It sold for $7,081. The value code was $2,000 to $5,000. So pre-production proof cards for Empire Strikes Back card backs. That was definitely the case where the prices came in at crazy prices. $7,000 for that one. And then here was a CAS 80 plus proof card, 31 back A, Bespin security guard. Even that one, it came in towards the lower end of the value code, but even that one came in higher than I expected. I was expecting kind of $1,600 to $1,800. It sold for $2,270. Admittedly, it was an 80 plus from CAS, so it seems like with proof cards, it's 85 or nothing, 85 or above and nothing. The price points really ramp up once you get to 85 plus, and 90. But that 2270 number was still a little bit higher than I expected. The Vader, this Vader was an absolute bargain as well. 41 back B Vader. I thought the value code was way too low. $700 to $1,000 was the value code. It sold for $973. So at first glance, okay, it came in at the upper end of the value code, but to get an Empire Strikes Back clear blister Vader AFA 80, it was admittedly punched, but Empire Strikes Back Vaders are almost always $1,000 to $1,500 minimum, and $1,000 being wishful thinking usually. This one sold for $973. That's a great price. Very good deal there. This 45 back Death Star droid AFA 85 unpunched, no price sticker. That one came in at $931. That one probably was a little bit higher than I expected, but it was an AFA 85, straight 85s. And as we always talk about on Hakes, that's what these big collectors go for. But $931 was the sales price on it. I mean, I've got a CAS 85 that I picked up for $500, and I'm not trying to say that that's comparable to this, because it's not. This one's certainly a better graded, higher value item than mine, but I'll take my $550 that I paid for mine, or $500, versus the $931 all day long, because this is a pretty common card back for the Death Star droid. The 45 back is readily available for that particular character. 32 back B Luke Bespin, 75 plus clear blister, street 75s for the sub score on that one. That one still sold for $12.98. That's a lot of money. A lot higher than I expected, to be honest with you. I was thinking maybe $900 to $1,000 at the upper end. I knew the value code was too low at $400 to $700, but $12.98 was a little bit of a shock there. Next up was a very good deal. This was a 48C Zuckuss, graded CAS 80, clear blister, unpunched with the Toys R Us price sticker. That sold for $503 after the buyer's premium. I thought that was a really good deal there. Next up, I've got some play sets and other kind of random items now. The Darth Vader's Star Destroyer play set. It was graded AFA 80. So this was mint and sealed box, and it sold for $1713. The value code on that one was $1,000 to $2,000, but that's a beauty there. Next up was the very hard to find special offer Slave 1, and this one was a mint and sealed box example, graded AFA 80. So the value code was 5 to 10. That seemed high to me. I was thinking maybe 4,500. But apparently Hakes knows more than I do, because it sold for $5,841. So big number on that one, but it is the harder to find special offer version of the Slave 1, where it had this backdrop that you could put behind the Slave 1. Not something you see very often. I don't remember the last time I've seen that particular example sell. And so maybe, my expectations were a little bit low, but $58.41, took that one home. Next up was the die-cast. I've got a die-cast TIE Bomber, which is easily the hardest to find of the different die-cast figures or vehicles. This one sold for $31.86. It was graded DCA 75, mint and sealed box. So $3,186 took that home. The value code of $1,000 to $2,000, I knew that was too low. I was thinking kind of $2,500. That one sold for $31.86 though. Next up was a Slave 1. It was labeled a yellowed blister, but it's only very lightly yellowed. It was DCA 75 for that one. It was a punched example with a price sticker, as well as some sticker residue on the card. The value code of $700 to $1,000, I figured was about right. It sold for $780. That's a price I'd pay all day long. Really nice example there. Next up, this is a weird one. This was a special offer Empire Strikes Back Give a Show projector. I've never even seen this before, to be honest with you. Very strange item. This one was qualified 80 grade, and the value code was $700 to $1,000. It sold for $4,133. So Clearly, the market said, no, you're wrong, Hakes. This is a very rare item. I mean, to me, it's so strange looking. It's a very strange looking toy. But $4,133 took that home. It blew away all expectations, coming in 4 times the upper end of the value code. Next up was an AT-AT. This was the Empire Strikes Back packaging graded AFA qualified 80. So unused contents, open box, qualified 80. And it looks like it had like the mail away kind of shipper label sticker from JCPenney on the back, which is very cool. I'd almost prefer to have that sticker on there versus not. It's just kind of a cool collecting bit of history there. It sold for $15.91, which God only knows what the shipping cost is going to be on that. I bet the shipping cost is $300 easily. But $15.91 is a good deal, I think, for that. That's a really, really awesome item. Next up was a very rare special Darth Vader collector's case. This one included the baggies for Boba Fett, IG-88, as well as Bosk. This is the only way you can get these 3 baggies, to my knowledge, these particular baggie variants. So it isn't, you know, this a special Darth Vader collector's case. There's obviously several iterations. There's one with Luke Bespin, Darth Vader, and Yoda. There's this one with Boba Fett, IG-88, and Bosk. Very, very rare. It's obviously qualified graded. And it's CAS graded 75, 85, 85 for an overall 75 plus. It sold for $7,788. The value code was $2,000 to $5,000. So that one again blew past all expectations. But honestly, that's the first time I've ever seen that for sale. Pretty incredible item, and that number reflects it. Unbelievable number there. Finally, I had the Cloud City playset graded qualified AFA 75, and it sold for $1,074. Now, it's not sealed. It's qualified graded, but again, it's the Cloud City playset. I mean, this is an item that would sell on eBay, ungraded, unused contents, complete, for probably double this price. I mean, I would think it would sell for $2,000 on eBay all day long. It sold for $1,074, already graded AFA qualified 75. So I thought that was a bargain of a deal there. Really good buy there. So as you can see, the prices were all over the map. The really rare, hard to find items blew away the value code from Hakes. But some of them, like some of those mint on card Princess Leia's, I thought those were absolute steals. I thought that mint on card Darth Vader was an absolute steal. So really good deals out there at Hakes. It was just kind of all over the map, as you'd expect when you have this many different items. But tomorrow we'll cover Return of the Jedi, Power of the Force, and the Tri-Logo items. Thanks as always for watching my Hakes coverage, and I'll be back soon.